This is Joseph talking about today, on your first trip to the Philippines. Okay, so you're all set. You've decided you're going to go to the Philippines for a first visit before your possible move. I would suggest you plan to stay from 3 weeks to 6 weeks on your first visit to make sure that you like it. You know, if you make your first trip for a couple of months and you don't like it, then you're stuck basically for a long time unless you go ahead and buy a very expensive one-way ticket back. So first thing, how much money will you need per week while you're traveling over there? Well, to be comfortable, I would suggest, this is based on what I found out, what others suggested to me in the past, is that you plan for $500 to have $500 for each week of your vacation there for your first trip. $500 American money for each trip that each week you're going to be there. And how will you take that money with you? On my very first trip to Manila, I was at the local airport, and I was just talking to one of the guys that was in front of me, an American, and when he went to buy his ticket to Cebu City from Manila, after the lady told him how much it was, he opened up his wallet, and it was in plain view for everyone to see. It was packed with $100 bills. Packed with $100 bills. What a foolish thing to do. He was inviting someone to follow him and jump him and take his whole wallet. Here's what I suggest you do. Okay, so you got $500 a week for your basic budget. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. How do you get your money from here to there with you safely? I would suggest you divide your amount of money that you need into thirds. 1/3 of that you send to Western Union to yourself, to the Philippines, payable in local currency and pesos, and then you make a record of that, of the control number, and you put it in your email. So you email it. You make sure that the name you're sending it to matches your passport and your driver's license ID, preferably your passport ID, and that way when you get there, when you need that money, you can pick it up. You can send it in increments of $200 or $300 or even $100. Take 1/3 of your total amount and send that to yourself. Let's say for our discussion, you decide you're going to be there for 3 weeks, so you need $1,500, walking around traveling money while you're there to look around, to visit. So that would mean you would take $500 and send to Western Union to yourself, payable in local currency. The reason you want to have payable in local currency, they'll tell you the exact amount that you can expect to pick up. Whereas if you sent it there in U.S., when you go there, they might try and trick you out of the exchange rate. So don't do that. The other third you want to have in cash. You'll want crisp, brand new $100 bills. Crisp, brand new $100 bills. So you'd have 5 of those. And the other third you'll want to leave in an ATM card, on a debit card, preferably a card that will work outside of the United States. PayPal has a card that works outside of the United States. Anyway, just double check to make sure that your card will work outside of the United States. On a side note, you want to make sure that you notify your bank that you'll be traveling abroad and that you'll be in the Philippines, and that to have them make sure they make a notation that you're going away and you'll be using your card between the certain dates that you're gone. I would also call the bank back a couple of days later just to verify that they have it. Okay, so now you've divided your money 3 ways. Western Union, you've got some cash, and you've got some money in your ATM card. So now you know how to go ahead and travel and safely use your cash. You can go to the airport. They'll have an exchange booth to turn cash into local pesos that they are at the airport. They won't give you the best deal, but you can go ahead and turn a $100 bill and get some cash back, and you'll be good from that point on. I want to make a brief mention over here that you don't want to use traveler's checks anymore. I don't even know if American Express traveler's checks are still in business, but don't use those. I used it before and found out the hard way. Most places, including finer 4- and 5-star hotels, will not take an American Express cashier's traveler's checks. If you find a bank, by the time the bank puts their fees, their charges, they call up to verify to make sure that it's a real American Express. I'm telling you, you lose a third of the value on the transaction. Don't even bother with American Express traveler's checks. It's simply, it may be trusted in other countries all over the United States, but it won't work in the Philippines. Okay, well, when you arrive in the Philippines, you can stay there for 3 weeks, 21 days, without having to pay a special visa. If you stay over there 22 days, you got to pay an extra extension visa. So if you're planning to stay over 21 days or longer, make sure that you go ahead and take care of that. And any of the not embassies, what's the word for it? Any of the places that they have set up to do that, you'll ask anybody where the immigration department is for the Philippines. And most cities, Tacloban has them, Manila, Dumaguete City, Cebu City. You just go in there, you present your passport, they'll take care of it, and they'll make a few dollars on you, and they'll go ahead and stamp your passport or give you receipts, and you'll be on your way. My first time, I didn't really know that. I hired a facilitator, and I paid them an extra fee. Finally, I found out myself, you can just walk to the Filipino embassy and tell them you want to get an extension, and they'll go ahead and take care of that for you. So you'll do it one time, and that'll give you an additional 30 days, so you'll be safe. Now, your safety while in the Philippines for the first time, just in case you don't know, well, it's just like walking around in America. Except you don't want to walk around with any jewelry, any what they call bling bling. I have a not expensive a watch, a regular watch. Just leave your jewelry, your neck gold, your chain, gold chains, your diamond rings, your pinky ring. Leave all that home. You don't want to carry that for you. And also be very careful with your cell phone. Stealing cell phones is a big business in the Philippines. I was warned about it. I was very careful, but I'd actually seen it in place where a person would grab a cell phone, throw it to someone else, and they were off on a motorbike, and there goes your cell phone. Keep it in your pocket, pull it out to use it, keep it in your pocket, pull it out to use it. Don't let anybody use your phone, use your phone to make a phone call, because grandma may be taking your phone. So be careful of that. If you're going to go to a bar, be careful of two things. First of all, don't get drunk. Don't get drunk. And don't get any discussions that can lead to an argument. In the Philippines, even more so than America, are very careful about losing face. They lose face in an argument, they go and get 10 of their buddies, they wait for you outside, and you're in big trouble. Right? Also, just like in Americans, that girl smiling at you at the bar may not be interested in your personality, but in the size of your wallet. And she may have an accomplice waiting for you. And just like any place else, if you leave your drink, don't pick it up again. You don't want to wake up and find out your pockets are slit, your money